Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of A Soul Grows in Israel. Today, I'm so excited to sit with Frumee Taubenfeld. She is a blogger, a Jewish fashion influencer with thousands and thousands of followers. She really wants to bring inspiration, parenting insights, and heartfelt reflections into her account, and I've been following her for years. And if you're watching this on YouTube, the screen might freeze sometimes. It's because she was in her car, but we did the best that we could, and I hope you enjoy this recording as much as I did. A Soul Grows in Israel, a podcast where we ask the questions about ancient Jewish wisdom, modern life, and everything in between. So let's ask, let's have fun, and let's grow together. Everyone, and welcome to another episode of A Soul Grows in Israel. I am so excited to have Miss Frumee Taubenfeld. Welcome to the show.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me. I'm trying to multitask as best as I can, getting my baby to sleep and working at the same time.
It's like real life happening in real time.
No, it seriously is. My stories are pretty much like what you see is what you get. I don't really edit. I don't, um, you know, um, pre-record except for my actual work, but like I don't like say things and then record or not record. My air isn't working in my house and my baby can't go to sleep, so here we are.
It's like 90 degrees where you are. It's like Israel.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal. I think my air couldn't handle it, and so this is what we're doing. But don't worry, guys, I'm being safe and
She knows.
don't come at me.
I think you're like a seasoned
Oh, I've been doing this for 11 years. I thought I saw it all, but I don't know. I still am shocked, but not as shocked as I used to be.
You know what you're gonna say or do and who's coming for you and how, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. Yes, I think I get more shocked when I don't see it coming and I'm like, wait, what? I guess that's what makes life exciting, and that's what keeps social media going.
Wait, how many years have you been doing this?
11 years, since 2014.
Since 20, and I'm sure you've seen social media change so much.
Yes, pretty much. I've been growing up or growing with social media. When Instagram started, I think it started, I don't know, so like people say, well, maybe they started blogging in like 2011 and that was like more of like MySpace or YouTube, but I really think that I was there when Instagram was like really just starting, and it was really just a space to like share pictures. And what it's grown into is so mind-blowing, because now they have college classes, college courses on just social media in general. It's wild that it's become such a like prospering industry, business industry, and people make legit businesses. It's part of the entrepreneurship of life, but it's wild that I fell into it.
So that's what I want to ask you. How did this whole thing start? How did you fall into it? Because if it was just pictures, then I'm going to assume that you were somewhat creative already, that it attracted you.
Yeah, so I've always loved fashion. I grew up, my mother is still extremely like fashionable, and my grandmother's the same. And I would say I'm probably the most similar to my mom. Mother always had Vogue and Harper's Bazaar and Marie Claire and Elle always lying around. And so I always just had a thing for that. When it came to actually picking a career and, a college, major or whatever, there wasn't really much. Like, I'm not someone who can, like, I couldn't go to FIT. I don't know how to design. I'm very good at putting clothes together. I have a good eye for proportions, but like there's really, I don't think, any major that comes with like styling, unless you are taken under someone's wing and you just like learn on the go. And that was also more in the non-Jewish world. So my parents were like, you have to like pick something to have like a college degree. My dad's a podiatrist, he's a doctor, so I always enjoyed biology. So I'm like, all right, like I'll go for nursing. You make good money, and what more of just like, I guess, a hobby type. And then nursing was not for me at all. I also just had a baby, whatever. So I went back to school. I went for history, has nothing to do with this. But while I was going back to school to finish my degree in history, that's when Instagram was starting. And I was just like, you know what? Let me just showcase my outfits because I'm always getting compliments on my outfits, on my clothes. Everyone just saying how well I put this together, how well I put this hat together with my outfit, my shoes, this or that. So it was really just like, oh, let me just put myself out there just to gain, I don't know, attention or recognition, whatever Instagram was. And then it really grew from there where businesses just started wanting to give me clothes to barter, to give them out, to promote for them and to advertise for them. And I got no money at first because like what was Instagram anyway? And what was I? There was no such thing as influencer. There was no such thing as creator. I think I was known as like a blogger. And blogger turned into influencer. Influencer is a much more professional term, and especially the creator. And just from there, like it really grew into me being more like I tell people like I'm in social media and advertising. Like I advertise for literally everything. I don't want to say like I'm a necessarily a lifestyle blogger. But I think that I've also just turned into someone that's like an everyday regular person relatable fashion influencer because I really post and talk about everything, and I bring up controversial topics and things that people feel are a little bit taboo but really want to talk about, and I think that I push the boundaries in that way and people love it and want more of it. So I am figuring out because I will always be into fashion and I will always do my fashion shows, but I'm figuring out I know that I want to do more. There is more beyond fashion blogging.
Yes.
Wow, that was a mouthful.
No, that's amazing. You said so many things, and now I've got so many questions. Okay. First of all, you guys,
Sorry.
no, I
Wait, can I pause so I can make sure my baby's sleeping so I can actually like stop driving? Amazing, she's sleeping. Baruch Hashem. Okay, now we're good. Now I can like park and everyone can calm down. Okay, we are
but
going.
Mama, are you kidding? Okay, so first of all, when I first met you, you were Queen Alchi's daughter. And I went over to
Yes.
your mom and I said, something about you feels familiar. Tell me, my name is Esther Malka. Do you have any of my names?
My mother is Esther. My
Even
mom is
better.
Alta Golda Esther.
There you, even better. No, seriously though.
Yes. Queen.
And I right away we saw each other, and then I didn't even know she was your mom, and I've been following you for years, and it was so cool
Yeah.
because I see your similarities and yet I see your differences. I was able to see everyone having room to breathe and be who they were, and to me, I have
Yes.
a bunch of boys, and it looks like they're each going their own way. And my biggest, I think, sign of a healthy upbringing is letting everyone choose their journey.
You know what? I think that that is probably the best thing that you can do for a mom, as a mom and for your kids. And it's definitely the direction that I'm going with as well. My parents were always they're very good where we didn't all fit the molds. Like, growing up in like a community where you had like a Beis Yaakov, you had like a modern Orthodox school, and then like you had a really modern school. And we went to Beis Yaakov. My parents, my mom went there. So it was just like the thing to do. But like we were in a neighborhood which now has grown into so much more closed minded, but it was so much more open minded when I was growing up because I had my next door neighbor going to, a co-ed school, my other next door neighbor going into a more basic school and this or that. And everyone was friends and everyone was able to, just be together and not be judged. And I appreciate my parents allowing that, not, holding us into just one way of being. And I think that really helped us, become who we are with still having really great, solid values, solid foundation. Derech Eretz, Kibbutz Aim, really, really big stuff in our family. Seeing that from my parents, how they treated my grandparents, and focusing on like real core values, that I think honestly I don't know even to get into it, that I feel like we've lost
Yep.
just in our in my community, but in the generation maybe that I'm seeing. So it's really important for me to try to also raise my daughters, especially to let them be who they want to be, not fit the cookie cutter mold that I feel is they're trying so hard here to like fit into, or not my kids, but like just the community. Um, but while instilling core Jewish values. I don't even want to, you know, especially nowadays with what's going on in the world with anti-Semitism, and I really feel that I really want to identify as just being a Jew. I don't need to say I'm an Orthodox Jew or a modern Orthodox Jew. It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, all us Jews are experiencing the hate from the world. And so I really don't like the labels of like, oh, you're so modern, oh, you're so yeshivish, oh, you're so from. What does one have to do with the other? We're Jews, and we all got or have the same mitzvos, the way that you do yours, whatever. But like that shouldn't, separate us, especially with what's going on.
I couldn't agree more. You said that's the best we can do as moms, and I think it's the best we can do as Jewish women. And if we're not
100%.
that seriously, that's the future of Judaism. It's so obvious. Living here in Israel, I see my son's friends, like boys, coming like in chains and kissing the Rav's hand and learning all the time. And all of my
That.
notions are gone. And they're like, Mom, you're from Brooklyn. It's a whole other animal. And I think, again, that's the future of Judaism, whether you want to get aboard or not. You can keep becoming more judgmental and more arrogant, but you're cutting yourself off from the cloud. I agree with you.
It's so true. It's so beautiful that you also say that. Like, first of all, I always think about like with Israel, it is a dream, and it's becoming more and more like I feel tugging at me about just being there, because I've gone for seminary, I went, for a vacation here or there. But it always felt like a sense of like belonging, because yes, you have your different communities, but I feel like at the end of the day, everyone that's there, it's just you're Jewish. It's our home, it's our place, we belong. And especially after like October 7th, I felt more of that gnawing feeling of like I don't belong here. I belong there. And even with a story like that, like my dad, I think, needed a minion to say Kaddish, and he was in the airport in Ben Gurion, and you had black hatters come, you had men with tattoos come, because a Jew is a Jew. And like I love that. And I feel like I want to be surrounded more with that, where it's less judgment, it's more accepting, and it's more just understanding that like we're all cut from the same cloth. It may be different coloring, but like we're still all together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and in all fairness, I think it's much harder to live that way when you're living in a foreign land because you are more
Yeah.
afraid. But when you're in Israel, you let your fists unclench a little. It's a bit more relaxing, even though what's going on is crazy.
Yeah.
It's chiller.
Yeah.
Mm,
I mean, I can't even imagine what it's like living there and all friends, but
yeah.
especially now with what's going on. But it's funny because I think my parents were actually there by October 7th, and like my dad even said like I feel safer here than I would like possibly here at home. And like I was just like, I just need my whole family to be together. So like you need to come, or we all need to go there.
Open, you don't even know. My shul started popping after October 7th. It's at this point, I don't even recognize it anymore. It's a zillion Americans.
Wow.
Isn't that insane?
Wow.
Only our people.
It's beautiful. It's be like we go where the war is, which everyone runs away from. It's pretty wild.
Okay, well,
Yes.
I want to become grossly superficial for 1 second because I
Go
can't.
for it.
Okay, this is where the world is. First of all, you're beautiful. Your
Thank
aesthetic is
you.
beautiful. You mentioned that at the beginning you wanted attention, and I just did my astrological Jewish chart. It's an episode we just aired, and I was
Oh,
told
cool.
I shouldn't run away from wanting attention. How this is not something to be embarrassed of. It's a gift that the
Right.
to express. And to me, that was like,
Yeah.
oh, so credit to you. And I want
So are you. I feel like you putting yourself out there, that's attention in itself, but you're doing it for good. You're not doing it so, hey, look at me. And that's also, I feel like, I mean, if you influence correctly, or, and you put yourself out there, but like, and people, the audience can see through. I think my audience can see I'm not here to be haughty-taughty and
No,
you
no,
know, being like, look at me. Yeah, yeah, so
super
thank you.
course, of course. And then I wanted to talk about something that, okay, it is controversial, but you're very much on my page. And people are going to come for me for this. I don't care. But I know that
Good, let's do it.
let's get into it. I am much more careful about my head covering than I am about covering collarbone or whatever.
Right.
And I have students, a lot of them have asked me about it, like call me out. And I said these are under the level of modesty, but they're two extremely different things to me and they mean something different to me. Can you
100%.
if you
Sure. So I've spoken about this in the past, but I'm definitely, as I'm feeling more liberated in terms of just me um caring more about me rather than the general reputation or image of me, and what people perceive, because I've always cared about what other people thought of me. And of course, like that, there still is something like you can't be like gross and just like put everything out the window. Like there is a level of just like being a normal functioning human
yeah.
person in society. But what I mean is, like with me with hair covering, I never understood it, of like where the mitzvah comes in, why we do it, why married women do it, why some people do, some people don't. It was more of just like my grandmother did it, my great grandmother, my mother, some of my sisters, and so it was just known that, okay, like I'm just gonna cover my hair. I never thought twice about it, and I never cared to, because it was like, well, this is what my mother does, so this is what I'm gonna do. And then over the years, I think I've grown more to, it's become more of a mitzvah or more of a connection for me for Hashem, rather than what it actually is for. And I still I know it's for my husband, and you know, it's the prettiest part of your body. I don't know. It really doesn't matter. I've grown to internalize it as like, this is my my connection as a woman to Hashem, as a married woman, and that's meaningful for me. So my husband tells me all the time to take off my sheitel. It's not because like he thinks it's chas v'shalom ugly. If anything, it's much prettier than
Mine too.
my actual hair. Much, and that, and by the way, that definitely helps.
Yeah.
Because if I had stunning hair, I honestly don't know where I'd be.
Yep.
Yeah, but like I say to my husband, like, listen, like this is really honestly for me. This is for me and Hashem. I feel connected when I'm wearing it, and you know, it just brings me a little bit closer. It grounds me also, because it's a reminder for me of who I am as a Jewish woman, as a Jewish mother, as a Jewish wife. And so you know, it puts me on a different level, so to speak, for myself, where it keeps me in check. And that does more to me personally. I never really was covering my elbow. Growing up, like people ask me now that I'm being a little bit more open with how I dress, like I wear what I wear. I always wore shorter skirts. I always wore short sleeves. And I always wore like bathing suits on the beach.
I said, now you're just kind of saying, I don't want to live any sort of double life, guys. You want to be in?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I'm just showing it. Do I have to show it? No. It's not something to be ashamed of. Like I wear a bathing suit on the beach. I'm not trying to defy or rebel. There's nothing like that. This was always me. I think I'm just being a little bit more open, where I connect more to Hashem in other ways than in my covering my elbows. And like I think for me, that's okay.
Yes, I think that let this girl live. You know, I wouldn't judge someone for wearing a shell under their jumper. Why would I judge someone for
Yeah.
wearing their sleeves? It's not my business, you guys.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, that's also like, it's no one's business. It's no one's business other than like my husband's. And like even my kids, like, you know, if my kids say something to me like, "Oh my, you're gonna wear that," then I feel like that is actually, I would listen to them, because I want to obviously be a good role model for them. And like if I'm not gonna want my daughter to wear like a tube top, and she's 13, and fine, even at 13, whatever, but even at 17, maybe I wouldn't want her to wear a tube top. And that's an age that I think is a little bit more acceptable than, let's say, 13. But then I shouldn't wear a tube top. But it has nothing to do halacha wise. It's more just about being appropriate, being fine, being respected. And it's funny because there are times that I'm very covered wearing like a baggy pair of pants with like an oversized thing, and I'm like, I'm more covered than I've been in months, you know.
Question.
But then
I know.
because it's beged ish, or you know what I mean.
Listen, I think again, everyone needs the space to do the best that they can with
Yeah.
life. And who knows, in 20 years, you might be dressing differently. We don't know. We're all trying.
Yes, and we're trying our best, and also like we want to evolve. Like we don't want to be stagnant. We don't want to be the same, and that doesn't mean to go left or right. It's just honestly, it's like I'm feeling more and more within myself of like I've never felt more connected to my Judaism, to Hashem, to my heritage, and what it means to be a woman more than I do now, with actually being more expressive and true, and to who I am than I have been in the last 35 years. You know what I mean? And that's what I want to also teach my girls.
Yes,
And
you don't regret. Think tshuva means that you're coming back to yourself and your truest entity.
Yeah. And I really think like, I don't connect when I'm davening in a sitter, but like I connect when I'm saying actually Asher Yatzar. Like that means something to me. And like that I really put a lot of like kavana into, and I try not to forget, because like I think about that stuff. And yes, I could think about all the tefillos, but I'm just trying to focus on what makes me better and more connected to Hashem. And that's what I want to send to my girls. Like, I know I'm talking a lot, but something recently just happened where my daughter, it became friendly with some girls that go to like more basic of schools. And I think their mothers said to their daughters, like, oh, she's a great girl, but like she wears short skirts. Just remember, like, we don't wear short skirts. And I think it made it just turned me off so much, like, because my daughter is such a good girl. Like her mitos are like out of this world. I Baruch Hashem get so many nachas reports just about like how she treats this girl, or how she talks to a mora, and I said, okay, like, just remember, like, we always have to be respectful. I'm like, but your skirts don't define who you are. Like, as long as you're polite, you have derech eretz, you say please and thank you, and you just act, in a fine manner. Like, I don't care about your skirt length. And honestly, no one else should, but
listen, it strikes a chord with me, because as a parent, I haven't commented on people's skirts, but I remember telling my kids things like, okay, he or she, and I remember that feeling of fear. What if this kid will pull my kid into like a bad direction? And you start,
yes, 100%.
Fear when you parent out of fear, everything is toxic. Nothing good comes, not to you.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I like that sentiment when you parent out of fear. Yes, I definitely, and I think that I've seen myself in that way also evolve, where, whom I used to let my kids hang out with versus now, because before I was maybe chasing, the status of that family, when that girl was like disgusting and nasty in the way that they talked. But like, I'm like, oh, but like, they're so respected in the community. And like, even Rafi would be like, I don't care. Like, she's not allowed in our house. Like, she doesn't talk nicely. I don't need my kid learning to talk like that, Yeah. So it's a nice evolution.
So, I'm sure you have an onslaught of, if it's not haters, there are people who just enjoy trolling and bothering you guys out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just delete, do you comment, and how much of it gets in?
So definitely in the past, and especially when I started, it like would destroy me, and I would either cry or get into bed and just like feel so down on myself and question everything, and a lot of self-doubt. Definitely when people ask me like, oh, should I get into the influencer space, I always say no, but then I say, but if you want to, like, it's not even that you have to have thick skin, it's more that you have to have real, like, self confidence and self-worth, and also understand that if you're doing this, there's a purpose beyond just like a link, like. And so I really feel like my purpose doing what I do is really to connect and to bring people together where we have common ground. You're not alone. Your feelings are valid, and to make people feel good about themselves and to bring more smiles and sunshine, but just to bring more genuinity into this world of literal shtus.
Yes, yes.
And to freely be who you are, and to focus on core mitos. I feel like there's such a lack of mitos, not just like in the community, but just in the world in general, no matter what religion. It's just like we have to be, with Tisha B'Av's coming up, why are we fasting? Why are we mourning? It's because of actual sinas chinam. Like, you can't get more like in your face of why the world is what it is, or why there's anti-Semitism, or that it's flaring up, or why there's gross things happening in the world. It's because, like, we're nasty to each other, and like, like, why, like, and I always teach my kids, like, would you want this to be done to you? Like, you always have to think about that, because if you don't, then don't be mean to that person, or don't talk that way to that person. Like, you wouldn't want that person talking to you, so don't do that to them. And that goes with friends leaving out and not leaving out, or inviting or not inviting. And so when it comes to social media, especially as of late, I would say like 90% I let things go. My baby's up, so it's time to drive again. It's 90% of letting things go. I'm human, so obviously, there are times that things get to me, but then I'm, thank God, very self-aware, and I think, all right, for me, like, why is this bothering you? Did they hit a nerve? Are you insecure about this particular thing? Why are you insecure about it? I really try to get in deep within me, um because I want to either be better, or I just, be like, okay, well, forget you, or I don't know. I try to really internalize and try to see, like, why is that bothering me, rather than get down and get depressed and just think like, woe is to me. You know what I mean?
First of all, you don't want to be a victim, because then you're giving your power to someone else.
Yes.
We always talk about staying curious. And I think when something does trigger you, it's this door you haven't opened yet. And here's an opportunity to get to know yourself
Yes.
better. It's otherwise it's kind of wasted on you, because it came to you for a reason.
I like the idea of stay curious, because I was saying that my teachers had that, like, on posters in the classroom wall, but like, that resonates with me so much, because that can mean so many things about, like, stay curious to push your creativity, stay curious to explore the world, and whatever. But it's also just stay curious about yourself, and like, learn more about yourself. And I think that's really cool. So thank you for that.
That's why we're here. And in whatever way we can do it. And you're making people, you said, feel less alone.
Yeah, I like making people happy. My mom used to call me Sunny D, her sunshine and delight, because I have a special midah, that, like, have a gift of making people happy and making people feel seen. And that's not me being boastful. That's me using it for the greater good. And that's why I have yet to quit Instagram, because all I want to do is quit every single day. But you know what? Like,
It's so clear. You're not boasting. You're saying, here are the gifts, Hashem, let's
yes.
have, instead of this pretend, like, no, and without it, the world would be less sunny and happy, because that's why you're here. I do believe that.
I really believe that. So I try to hone on that. And I also, many times, also with the trolling, I try to, again, focus on, this is a job. This is not like the end all be all. I'm not here for self-validation, although the validation definitely is very nice, of course. Like I'm, makes me feel great. But like it's a job and it's a purpose and it's not my whole life. And that has helped also in many ways to differentiate what I'm doing on here and to put boundaries on what I'm doing here. So that's helped a lot.
Yeah, I hear. And I love how you respect what we both have are very private husbands. My husband is only audio, and I noticed your husband very much is like, you do your thing, you keep me out of it.
Yeah, my husband is the opposite of me, which has had, it has been it's challenging at times. We've been together for quite a long time, so you get to know a person. When I don't think no one really understood what Instagram was, of course, when it was first starting, and then what it turned into. Once he was seeing money being brought in, he was all for it. But he's a very, very private person. And he's not, I wear my heart on my sleeve. He is the opposite. I'm loud. He is super quiet. Sometimes I'm like, what? Like I can't hear you. Um, but he's taught me a lot in that way. So, and if anything, I used to resent it because I'm like, people want to see you. This would be great engagement. But now I really appreciate him. I'm learning more and more how I want to be more private or keep things more private. And that helped me again, just focus that this is a job. And I here and there put my kids on. It's not the sole focus. But yeah, I appreciate his privacy more than ever because it's something for us. He doesn't even like when I put the cartoon on of him. You know what I mean? Oh, he's like, I don't care.
It's funny because like when marriages work, it's not because we're like more on the same page. It's because we agree to learn from each other's differences more.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And don't get me wrong. I mean, he still is always just like, shh. And I'm like, this is my voice. Like, I don't know what to tell you. And I'm just like, and also like I can't hear, like, because I'm so loud. So, I just speak loud.
Own who we are.
Definitely, definitely. And me also learning that he's not trying to change me. I'm taking you home, baby. She's not happy.
We're gonna wrap it up in a minute.
Okay, no, but I'm having such a nice time.
I want to talk about your traveling, which is my favorite topic ever. If I'm not
Yes.
I just came back from a trip or I'm just waiting. And I've been actually some of the feedback I got was like, stop speaking about vacations. A lot of people are less fortunate. And I've been saying, I acknowledge that. I also think you can get on a backpack, you can go to Kazakhstan and you can go camping, like make it happen. What is your favorite sort of scenario on a vacation? What does it look like?
So I am you in every way. By the way, you and I, let's go travel together because I am always ready to just go. I need it for my sanity, but I'm also learning that it's another way of how I connect to Hashem because I just see this beautiful, gorgeous world that He created for us to enjoy and experience, and how lucky, we are that if we can go and do it. And like you said, like I've stayed in youth hostels, like I've done it all. Like, I mean, growing up also, but like not going to the fanciest places. Like my favorite memories are really my dad putting us in the car, strapping a TV in, and just driving down to Florida, but like stopping on the way at like North Carolina, South Carolina, like going to New Hampshire, Vermont.
What did he strap the TV? He took an actual TV and strapped it into your car.
We had a mini TV in our Ford Windstar, and we would watch movies. This was like before anything, and these are the best memories. Just going to these places. Like I even told like my husband, I'm like, let's go to New Hampshire. I want to take the kids there. It's supposed to be beautiful. I was there when I was little. Even not going fancy anywhere. So when it comes to traveling, even more so, and especially as I'm getting older and appreciating what it means, be able to go and working hard, but making it work and whatever is really connecting with Hashem and just this beautiful world outside of my shadow of the five towns, which I definitely appreciate the bubble of it, but it's nice to get out. But what my scenario is a beautiful beach, gorgeous water, and just laying out and hearing the ocean and seeing the vastness and having a book and having a drink, and just losing all sense of time. Like, no, there's no pickup, there's no bath time, there's no sleep time. It's just the day going like into each other and losing all sense of time. And that's really what I enjoy most. That's like, I could be adventurous, but like I find that my everyday life is an adventure with my kids. And so when I look at vacation, it's just me literally doing nothing but just being in a beautiful scenery and yeah, being with the locals.
I have to say, it might be very holy what you just said, and maybe I'm stretching it, but the idea of getting out of that time space is very much like a Shabbat idea where you're not
Yes.
by time and schedules, you're just someplace
Yes.
of that. I think it's a very holy place to be. I'm not gonna
lie. No, it really is. It brings you back to yourself. It brings you back to also thinking about like, how can I be better for my everyday life? Like it just puts things in perspective because you're able to just take pause and just really reflect. And I really truly do that. And I need it like every 2 weeks. I'm not joking. We're going, listen, Mir Hashem, I'm hopefully coming to Israel in January. So I'd love to like hang with you, come to you, bond with you, see you, do this again.
Absolute pleasure. We're going to do it in person. Frumee, I wish I had more time with you, and I respect how busy.
I know. Thank you.
Thank you for being on here.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for having me. I would love to more. I would love to whatever you want, but like you're such a pleasure and you're so good at your just, interviewing and just talking and the flow. So thank you so much for having me. And it was such a pleasure meeting you, talking to you. And thank you for also teaching me. You taught me a lot. I appreciate it.
Goes both ways. Keep bringing that sunshine in. I felt it. And
thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you. You too. Thanks.
Hi again. If you like what you're hearing, if something that you heard in today's conversation really resonated with you or made you laugh or made you think, I'd love to hear more. So please feel free to leave a comment, DM me on Instagram, or even better, leave a comment on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or even YouTube. Let's make this community grow together.